Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. We have XRP video here today in front of us. Guys, do check out our other videos on the channel, and also, of course, if you haven't done so already, do make sure you subscribe as well and hit that bell notification button so you get notified of all the videos coming your way from ourselves as and when they are released. Guys, let's go into this quickly. Well, the narrative is boring, as it always has been for Ripple in this last year or so. I always remember to the back of my mind the visual aspect of when this whole thing started with the SEC. And I just remember at the time, people were like, oh, this is going to be a quick thing. Or, oh, what's going to happen? It's going to crash, this, that, and the other. And there's just so many circulating stories and opinions around it. I don't really cover XRP massively on this channel. I think there's a lot of, obviously, loads of channels out there already that cover XRP in a massive format. But I have had requests multitude of times over the last month or two to at least have a intermediary XRP video every now and then, and this is the next updated one, and I'm kind of bringing it to the attention, of course, because the last few days, as always, everyone's throwing out dates. Everything's saying it's going to be settled today, it's going to be settled tomorrow, and here we go. Like, for example, here, 6th of November article, Industry Insider tells settlement date for fight with SEC. So we've got all these dates coming in, 11th, loads of other ones. I've seen some yesterday saying today is the settlement day, and it's like, guys, have you got nothing else better to do? Like, seriously. And some of these are like mega publications, even like Forbes and things like that, just throwing out nonsense. And especially off the back of what's happened with FTX and things like this, there's big conversation about regulation and security and all this stuff, and it's kind of like, well, it's understandable because people do what they do. They clickbait, right? It's just people jump on it. They get excited. We see a movement in the price and it doesn't move anywhere, but everyone gets excited about 10% increases. Like, that's nothing. We want to see longevity in Ripple as a technology and a project. It's phenomenally huge. I know a couple of people that work at Ripple, and I've followed Ripple and XRP for some time now. In fact, it was the first, maybe the second asset I purchased, actually. It was either that or Ethereum back in 2019. And I just understood like what these guys were doing in terms of the financial world, cross-border payments, all of these aspirations that they have. And they're continually building their team, guys. Like, especially here in the UK, their offices are quite huge, and they're building and adding people, left, right, and center every week. Even on my LinkedIn, it always pops up with, Ripple this, Ripple that, to go and work for them. So, these guys aren't going anywhere. I think it's very clear about that. They've been around for a long time, right? For many, many years. So we've got this aspect of this just nonsense conversation constantly going on and on about the SEC. And everyone needs to just remind themselves, like, this is the SEC, US government aspect of like finance, regulation, etc., securities center. But outside of that, no one else has blocked XRP. So yes, the US market is absolutely gigantic and huge, of course, as are many of the other regions and continents around the world. But this one in particular sort of derives around this conversation about what is the US actually doing. We've got inflation left, right, and center. I made the comment maybe a year or so ago about the dollar diminishing, and that CBDCs will be coming in, whether people like it or not. It's coming, and Ripple and the likes of these kind of projects and companies will be powering most of that in the background, as well as many other things, including the messaging services like the RTGS system around the world, which will be replacing or enhancing the Swift chaps backs systems that we've had for decades, right? So again, all these articles just spewing out the same nonsense, and people just drag into them. This is why I said in the last video, I think it's a circus. The SEC is protecting whatever it's doing, or it might even be working with XRP to help fight against certain countries in the world which were creating their own monetary systems, and they're just making sure that the protection and the rollout goes out accordingly. That's honestly like some theories and thoughts, and there's loads of rumors flying about all over the place all the time. But for me, I was like, well, I hold XRP, I accumulate XRP. The price is just going to be up and down every 5 seconds anyway because of all the narratives that keep coming in and out. We got lawyers, getting involved and making social media accounts and getting involved in that as well, and that's fine. It gains more awareness to this project, but all I can say is really to just keep an eye on directly with the SEC websites and the actual organization of Ripple itself. You can see all these rumors all the time, and they're just, in my opinion, fluctuating market manipulation. That, at the end of the day, clickbait material for you to go and read, get excited about, and do what you need to do. Of course, many of these publications are owned by banks and things anyway. If you look in the finer detail of the company's umbrella, it's no wonder they keep picking out this kind of narrative and documentation all the time. And this has been going on for a long time, guys. Like, I've seen this probably like every week. Every week there's been something. And now the most recent articles are always, of course, linking it or having this conversation around what's been going on with FTX, this, that, and the other. And then expecting all of this to start pushing out, taking information from like mysterious tweets that have happened and mysterious narratives that are occurring. It's like, calm down, what's going on? So that's where I'm at with XRP. Like, I accumulate it, I hold it, it's in my ledger. I'm very pleased to be holding it, and I'm very excited about the progress that's going to be made over the next 5-10 years with Ripple and all the other financial institution related tokens and assets. Tokenization of digital currency is coming, guys, like, and everything else for that matter. So for me, I don't look at the narratives. I just wait for the official information. If you got the strategy kind of like I have of just accumulating in the best areas possible, and again, we'll go into the chart actually, bring that up now while we're on that conversation. If you're accumulating in these like DCA applications anyway, which we do on most of our assets here on the Wells of Wall Street, you're just accumulating and looking out for an opportunity, because when that announcement happens, guys, whether it's deemed a security or not, as we saw with King Coin back in 2017, there was like a 1400% uptake in like 48 hours, right? Now, there's an interesting point in time that we're at right now, in the sense that we're in a big recession worldwide. Is there enough focus on this? Is there enough attention? Is there enough money to flow into this for one quick, rapid succession of trading? Of course, yes, there is. People will probably just move money across from other assets, and this in turn could be a massive opportunity with everything else as well. So if you think ahead and you keep on the point, not read all these nonsense articles, but actually like focus purely on the directive partners or parties that are involved in this situation, unless there's some categoric information coming out into mainstream media, and I'm talking about proper mainstream media like TV and everything, where it says the settlement is coming, or the settlement, they're in court right now to finalize it, then don't listen to it. But keep the eye on those parties, because when that information does come out, yeah, of course, there could be a massive opportunity for this to rise, but also taking potential opportunities elsewhere, because you've got to think about how other people will react and how much money do people have. They might have loads of money in their portfolios and move them across from other assets. They might have capital. Brilliant. If you're lucky or fortunate or do have that ability in this kind of market and the world that we're living in, fantastic. And that money will come in as well. But be aware that majority of people as well will have that money in the markets already, and they will just follow the money. Simple as that. And especially if it spikes up significantly over a short space of time, you're going to see a big reaction of FOMO in there and trying to catch that train upwards. Those that are holding already and probably have their XRP back in exchanges or on ledger to sell, whatever it might be, you've prepared, you've accumulated, you've been buying in these areas anyway for the anticipation that one day, whether it's today, tomorrow, next month, next year again, who knows? But you just have to be prepared. But I'm not going to sit here and hype XRP up or come up with some FUD or anything like this, like some other channels or some other publications do. I'm just telling you how I see it and how I react to it, or will react to it, and keeping an eye out on what's happening right now. Everyone got excited over the last couple of days about a 10% increase in XRP. That's not really that exciting, to be honest. And in fact, it didn't really jump up that much at all. 32 cents to 38 cents. Of course, if you've got big volumes of XRP, that could potentially be a nice turnaround for people who are day traders or weekly traders, something like this. But for long-term investors where, I was buying XRP back at these sort of stages, especially around 2020, for sub 20 cents. In fact, I think even maybe slightly lower than that, I'm not sure. But certainly in that March area when we had the big drop, I think I was buying about 12, 13 cents. So I've already in the profit still, surprisingly, one of the only assets that I am in profit with this one. And I'm still accumulating it at these higher areas than 12 cents because I think in general, for the long term, XRP will be a phenomenal value product to be holding and investing in. And of course, this narrative in general about XRP originating, should it even have been a retail token, and even Garden House and a few others have already openly in many conferences said this token was not actually maybe a mistake to give it to the retail investors, and perhaps it should have been pulled back for more private equity, private investment, as it were. But here we are, and it's working for them in terms of awareness and everything like this. And of course, XRP, the tokenization of the transactional fees, the transactions themselves, the processing, the validation on the chain, everything really that Ripple will do in terms of processing payments across the world. So it's a fantastic project to hold and invest in. And I think a lot of people, even outside of crypto, know what the XRP is one is. It's one that's always been talked about for many years. But for right now, as I said, for me personally, and if in the last video and many videos before this, I did pick out these areas before, around 36, 37 cents, matching up with the data that we've seen in terms of support and resistance in previous times, particularly here at the early stages of 2021 last year. And if you can see across this orange line where we drew ages ago, this is where it's kind of fluctuating. We've already gone down below that area a few times this year, and including more recently at the beginning stages of November. So we're now floating around just above this area and kind of trying to confirm this area as a full mechanism of support. So if I just get the fib retracements out here on a macro level, for example, at one of the most recent low points and one of the recent high points, but also I can take this a bit of a step further and just drag this out from the top and bottom to where we are currently. So I'll just take this old one here and just drag that across as well to one of the most recent high points. So we get two justifications here of momentum where XRP can and may go. So right now, as I said, we've been bouncing around these kind of areas here, and particularly around this 35 cent mark. That's pretty traditional. It's a rounded number, right? And something that we're trying to attack, this 40 cent mark. It's failed so far the last couple of days, and it certainly failed back here at the beginning of November as well, as it first of all dropped past it and couldn't quite climb back above it either. So I think this 35 cent to 40 cent mark is a good area of accumulation right now, provided it matches up with some of this RSI data below here too. So on the 14 days of 42 and the 28 days 44, these are very nice areas for me personally to be accumulating manually with XRP. I don't have limit orders for XRP. I tend to just buy manually with the USDT that I've got on exchanges, and sometimes through Ledger as well. And here we go. For this aspect, you can clearly see that we've got some areas of interest around these particular markers. So coming down to these lower regions, which we saw on the 14th of November and 9th and 10th of November respectively, dropping down to just over 30 cents. So these are the area, the 30 to 40 cent mark is very interesting right now. And you're looking for these kind of like wave effects. But as I said, as these narratives keep coming out, I don't think the narratives are strong enough for people to believe that this is actually happening. This is why we don't see people go, oh, well, the news is coming out. Why is it not flying up? Well, that's because pretty much most people have realized now and worked out that a load of it is absolute tripe. And it's just repeated media that they get on Chainwire or something like this, and it just gets repeated, and more of it is seen, and then people think, oh, this must be real, without looking at the actual logical data and information and reporting, more importantly, the reporting from the actual case itself. So, as I said, keep an eye specifically, directly on the parties involved, not external media, okay? Because the official announcements are the ones that are going to spike everything. Rumors, of course, can do initially, but they have to come from massive reliable sources and in Streamline as well. You'll see this because Ripple and everyone will want to have that PR release out simultaneously across the board, across a multitude of publications. I work in marketing. I know how this works. Guys, the volume as well been dropping out significantly over the last couple of weeks. Not to say that the actual value has been dropping, but volume not wise has been coming down quite a bit, and it has been repeated across the last couple of months, taking a mirrored effect almost of what happened throughout September pretty much. So this is a good area to really consider, because on the MACD here you can see the narrowing is occurring, albeit very slow and long. This could start swinging about as the narratives do come in and more rumors fly in. That can pull itself to a more level aspect of the chart. So this is where I think this kind of like 35 to 40 cent in particular is an interesting bite point. If Bitcoin does fail down to 12 or maybe even 10,000 Bitcoin over the next few months, you could see XRP coming down, which is why I think this is a really interesting time, that if the actual lawsuit does complete itself, which would be very interesting, it's going to sort of annihilate the trends and thoughts that anyone has anyway of the market over the next few months, because that's how money flows. It relies on market trend, and it relies on events around the world, including ones that involve actual crypto assets that we are heavily invested in. So last casting comments on these guys. Performance on the right hand side here, the week is down just, the 3 months is up. There's very rare assets that can boast that. And the 6 months is not looking too bad either. So again, defining the point that XRP has a lot of following and a lot of confidence behind it, irrespective of the crazy things that have been going on the last year or so in the case. The year to date and the year are respectable compared to many of the other assets out there. But again, it shows you that there's a big area of improvement to come in terms of gains at these lower regions. From the buying perspective, I do actually have the mindset in my head to start attacking this 30 cent mark again at some point. I'm looking out for that. I'm not going to put limit orders in because everything's sort of fluctuating too much with XRP at the moment the last couple of weeks. But yeah, for now, that's where I'm very interested in having my next accumulation. I've been doing a lot around the 35, 36 cent area, but now I'm just going to wait, see if that pans out. Other than that, guys, that is XRP mini roundup. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Are you still holding XRP? Are you bored like I am of the narratives, the circus that is the SEC XRP lawsuit, or Ripple lawsuit, sorry. But yeah, guys, we'll keep an eye on this. Probably won't do an update for a while unless something significant happens. And for sure, I will cover that as soon as it does. But thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in the next XRP video. Take care and bye-bye.